Greetings and welcome to the Rock and Roll podcast. Check out this record. My name is Marc, and with me is a man who sheds no tears for fear. It's Frankie D.
I'm not crying. You're crying, Marc.
Welcome back to the show, friends. Remember, you can find Check Out This Record on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music, or wherever else you find fine podcasts. Golly heck, we're even on YouTube, Frank.
That's right, Marc. New episodes drop directly to your ears every Friday. And of course, we all know this is for your listening pleasure.
So what the heck is Check Out This Record? Great question. And thank you for asking. Yeah. Here on Check Out This Record, Frank and I check out albums and give them the old full body cavity search. That's right. We go track by track, baby. We leave no cavity, no matter how up a song's butt unchecked. But of course, we indulge in a wide array of other musical discussions, like in our Spotlight series, where we dig into a band's catalog and see what's buried in there, trash or treasure. I don't know why the pirate thing happened. Sorry about that.
The butt comment made me think of my annual prostate exam. So there you go. And
of
course,
want to talk about the heat?
There you go. And in our versus series, Marc, we're going to pit two albums against each other, and they're going to duke it out for total stereo domination. If
social media is your thing, be sure to check us out on Instagram and even our Facebook group. We like to drop additional content, leaving you laughing at what I thought the lyrics to Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap were.
And I know what that is. Now, don't forget to pump over to the world famous Tube of the U and watch as we make silly faces and we try to put this show together. And who knows there, maybe we'll have some exclusive content coming. You definitely don't want to miss this. So be sure to fire off a click on the old subscribe button.
That's right. Now, last week on the episode, Frank, bravely, selected the category albums people really think we should know, but we don't. And correctly guessed we'd be covering Tears for Fears, The Hurting. Now, I've been asked by a few folks, why The Hurting and not Stories from the Big Chair?
Right.
Well, you have to remember that The Hurting was a massive success too, with a lengthy chart run of 65 weeks in the UK, where it reached #1 and platinum status. It also reached the top 20 in several other countries and yielded the international hit song Mad World. Top 5 hit in South Africa, by the way.
Wow.
Change was a top 40 hit in Australia, Canada, Ireland, Israel, Italy, the Netherlands, Poland, and South Africa. Their first single to reach the US Billboard Hot 100 and a re-recorded version of Pale Shelter. All three of these singles reached the top 5 in the UK. Songs from the Big Chair is a fantastic album, but when I don't know a band's discography, I like to start from the beginning, and it's my choice. So we're doing The Hurting and get the fuck over it.
That's right.
So Frank, how is it you've never heard of this album before?
I was thinking about this because it's a good question. And I remember Seeds of Love was the first song I remember from the band. And of course, the video that accompanied it. Then just by the way of natural airplay, you catch songs like Shout, Everybody Wants to Rule the World, and Head Over Heels. And at that time, I was just in awe of two guitars, bass, and drums rock sound. So it's something I think at the time just didn't keep my interest to seek further exploration. In fact, Marc, it wasn't until, correct me if I'm wrong, either 2002 or 3, when our band was playing a show with a band called Fievel, and they did a cover of Mad World. Even then, I didn't start listening to the album, of course, until recently. So I think it was just one of those situations.
You hadn't heard Mad World until that point? Not even like on Donnie Darko? Did you not see Donnie Darko? It's not that good of a movie. People say it is, but it's not.
No, I've seen Donnie Darko. It's just I'm trying to place it if I saw it previous
before or after
to that concert, and I think it was after. And I agree. I had higher expectations of Donnie Darko for some reason, but yes.
Fair enough. Well, I ditto as to why I hadn't heard of the band. I'm gonna keep the intro for the band kind of quick so we can get into this album. Tears for Fears, or as you might find them on Craigslist, T's for F's, were formed in 1981 by Roland Orzabal on guitars, keys, and vocals, and Kurt Smith on bass, keys and vocals, who were So those two dudes, Roland and Kurt, I know I did a lot there, who are in a mod revival new wave act known as Graduate.
Very
They had a
interesting.
minor hit in Spain and Switzerland. I don't know why I did that voice for Switzerland. It's probably not right. With a song called Elvis Should Play Ska, as a reference to Mr. Costello and not Mr. Presley. We'll come back to this, though. Graduate broke up in 1981, and Roland and Kurt began playing as session musicians for a band named Neon, which is important in a moment. You'll figure that out. They also decided to start a band. Frank, can you tell me the name of that band?
Tears for Fears?
That's no. It's History of Headaches is the answer we were looking for. However, they would very soon become Tears for Fears, and I couldn't find any particular reason why. It just says like after a couple of weeks they changed their mind. So anyways, so with Neon drummer Manny Elise, that's why Neon was important, and Ian Stanley on keyboards. And after 2 demos, they were signed to Phonogram Records. And here we have 1983's The Hurting. Frank, are you ready to hurt?
Well, listen, depending on which part of me gets hurt, sometimes I do like pain, my friend. So yeah, another discussion.
It's a separate podcast, folks. Well, track 1, The Hurting.
Wow.
Title track right up front, Frank.
Bold move, Cotton. Now let's see if it pays off.
Yeah, we're treated to a great little electric drum buildup. I love that you did that so perfect. As they slowly layer the parts together, and the full synth pop orchestra is just off and running to this morbid little disjointed ditty is working its way into the ear. Frank, I'm going to say like morbid and like macabre a lot. It's really not that like morbid and macabre. It's just kind of like, I know I'm really handsy today. I can't explain it. It's really more of like kind of like the cute goth girl, lots of dark purple, cute spider webs, that kind of, when I'm saying macabre and like goth and that kind of stuff, that's what I'm talking about.
Got it.
I just don't want people to think that this is like an album about Dracula, and they're like, dude, like you really sold me an album about Dracula. This is not an album about Dracula. Anyways, Frank, the band named themselves after a concept known as primal theory. I know we're both going to talk about that a little bit more as we go on.
Yeah.
It is believed that this album is a combination of primal theory and Roland's childhood experiences. When we look at the lyrics for a song like songs like these, it can be simple. Excuse me, song like this. It's simple but powerful words used to really paint a dark picture. I got so lost there. I'm sorry, folks. How is such hypnotic music? Oh man. All right, you ready?
It's hypnotic.
It really is hypnotic. Sorry, this is just I don't know why I can't read today. When you look at lyrics for a song like this, we see some simple but powerful words used to really paint a dark picture. How is it such hypnotic music like this when music becomes so hypnotic like this when paired with such melancholic topics draw us in?
Yeah, good.
I don't know what I was trying to ask there.
I got the question because I have a response. Because I have a response for it.
Thanks God. Sorry, listeners. Jeez.
There you go. So. Listen, it's a good question because it's definitely a hypnotic tune, and knowing what you explained as far as the band's foundation, you could really see how this is totally about like a series or a trend of childhood experiences, i.e. the hurting. And then if you see the cover of the album, really makes sense. Now, sorting through all this, I have to be honest, I didn't really care, believe it or not, in the beginning for the melody during the verses, but then at 2 minutes we get this like prog rock breakdown, and that's where I started to be really engaged with the song. It's like the light bulb went off with that part of the song, and like I said, the rest started making sense. To me, this is a bold statement on the opening song of the of the album with the same name, but it worked.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, let's rock right into track number 2, Mad World.
Mad World.
Now, for me, Frank, this is definitely my first exposure to the band, or at least it's the first cognitive thing where I connected the band to a song. But it always kind of reminded me of like tacky 80 bands, like that band that does Spin Me Right Round. Like that's a cool song, but like I don't care about anything else they do. And I just assumed that Tears for Fear were really kind of in that category.
Right.
Which is a bummer because there is so much more to this than like kind of what really is kind of like a loser anthem kind of predecessor to emo and pop punk and whatever
Right, totally.
sad excuse for hip hop that's going on right now is. Anyways, Frank, the band isn't bothering with like really formulaic songwriting, and it worked. Why does breaking the mold work here?
Yeah, I mean, and this whole of at the time of musical access, it's easy to write stuff like this off as just another run of the mill song. However, I think the songwriting works because it goes against the grain, and by having that pop sound pop sound of the 80s, mixed with these like penetrating lyrics from the influence, especially of Arthur Janov, of the primal screen theory. So I think it's that combination of everything in the pot stirred up that's making it work. And if you were to listen to all the contemporaries during that time, they will definitely be standing out,
Yeah. All right. So track 3 is called Pale Shelter. Frank, I think I'm in a hypnotized state with it. That's maybe what's going on with me. I've been hypnotized. I've been sucked in to the hurting. I love this kind of like synth pop drive under these just like super sad songs.
Yeah.
What is wrong with me?
Well, Mark, to really understand what's wrong with you, I'm going to need a couch and about a few hours. Okay. So yeah, sorry.
Okay.
It could be one of those sessions.
All right.
Listen, I think these sad songs fused with the pop goodness are really, they're food for the soul. I have and never will trust feel good songs. Not that I'm saying you can't have a song that makes you feel good and not believe the feeling. I'm just saying I don't trust them like all the way. I think with a song like this, that's a love song in a way to one's, I think, parents and for their attention and affection. Listen, it's relatable no matter what our childhood experiences have been. So
very interesting. I love Frank taking the deep side on this one.
Oh, thank
I'm
you.
just having fun.
Thank you, Mark.
Track number 4, Ideas as Opioids. The title of the song refers to the Communist Manifesto by Marx and Engels.
Yeah.
Rephrasing, religion is the opioid of the masses. It reflects the way religion and other personal habits can get in the way of seeing the truth, Frank.
So I there's a reason why I say this opening statement. Not the biggest Marx fan or its Neo incarnation. However, I say that because I will be more than happy to put personal beliefs aside and agree nothing should get in the way of seeing the truth. So that's why I say that statement. Musically, this is a really cool change of pace, showing the different types of songs they could put from pen to paper. It's a polarizing tune, and we're already 4 songs in, and the album is polarizing. So it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm loving the way this album is just flowing back and forth and really messing with us.
Absolutely.
Speaking of messing with us, Frank, track 5, Memories Fade. This one's going to get a little personal, buddy.
Oh, boy.
I love this take on mortality and growing old. The pictures painted of decay and fading into obscurity and death are vivid and rich. I'd call this a lament over the memories soon to be lost, Frank. I know that this is a tough one for people who have lost somebody. What do you think of Memories Fade?
10 to 15 years ago, I would tell you these songs wouldn't kind of bother me emotionally, but now they do. And as much as I love them, and listen, it's something that like keeps me up at night. So I'm not sure if it's a good or a bad thing at the end of the day. But one thing that we could agree on is the track is good. So
yeah. Track 6, Suffer the Children. So this actually it was actually the album's first single. Pale Shelter was second, but neither got much attention. I'm not surprised this was the first single, though. It's arguably the most mainstream song for the time on the album, despite its name.
Yes.
I'm also not surprised it wasn't a hit. It's bland for a band that's so innovative. Obviously, I wasn't there when they wrote this or recorded it or re-recorded it for the album, so I can't say that they were trying to force a more radio-friendly song or not, but that's the way it feels to me. Frank, what'd you think?
Yeah, it definitely is the most mainstream of the songs, and also I agree that it's the most bland on the album, which is kind of a bummer. From a songwriting perspective, we already have already seen some really impressive things displayed on this record. But this could be one maybe where they like had an inkling like this had some hit potential, and they said, "Hey, listen, let's just roll with it." And sometimes those things happen. These songs, some people hear them, some people catch wind of them, they catch fire. They may not be the best, but they're the ones that are fronted on these albums, and that could very well be the case for a song like this.
Could be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Track 7, Watch Me Bleed.
Oh.
I don't know why I said it so happy. Frank, this song is about invisible pain, about hiding your pain by not showing any emotion. At least that's what the internet said. I'm in love with the use of the acoustic guitar over that really cool ethereal guitar keyboard part. Excuse me.
Yeah.
It's dark and sad, and I just want to watch goth babes dance to this. What did you think?
I think this is my favorite track on this album. Without a doubt, it has like a goth feel to it, and it's the archetype of these synth pop songs of the time. Like you, I really dig that moody guitar with the satin-laden music around it. I had this one on repeat, even through first listen. I'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, get to 7, do 7 a couple of times, and then move on. So
nice.
It's a great tune. This is really a good song.
Yeah. Track 8, Change. Change would be the song that got the band around the world as it cracked the US Billboard Top 100 and Top 40 in numerous other countries, Frank. Tell us about this deceptively simple song that is anything but simple. I want to know about that marimba solo too. Maramba solo. I don't know what that voice is, and I apologize to anyone who takes offense to it. Ugh.
The intro is a little bit of an assault on my senses, I'm not gonna lie, but once I get past that, it's anything but simple, and it actually creates like it's what the uniqueness of this particular song is. I mean, busting out the marimba and having that be the solo is really a unique way to craft a song. I wouldn't mind if that was a little shorter. However, it's a cool track.
Do you think it's a marimba or a xylophone? Ooh. I know we're saying both of those names wrong, but I kind of like it. A glockenspiel. Glockenspiel, maybe?
Glockenspiel, maybe.
Glockenspiel. I think my mother used to play a glockenspiel.
Really?
I think so.
Oh, we got to talk about this.
I think that's one of, it's like the little xylophone that you hold.
Yeah, but they have a more distinctive sound, I think, than the xylophone.
Do they? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see.
Track 9, The Prisoner.
Oh, hello.
Here we get this cool, ominous synth pop number that will clearly influence a ton of industrial and goth music to come. The use of the studio and keyboards to build this amazing atmosphere that feels like the coolest 80s party in hell, but without all the shitty metal bands. It's just awesome. Frank, did you dig this track or did you feel like The Prisoner?
Well, I did have the feeling of being trapped. And then when I thought about the coolest 80s party that would take place in hell and thinking that would be the place I'd be trapped in, I was okay with it though.
It's actually kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
It sounds like a good album.
It's actually an aggressive track.
I guarantee you get to hang out with Scott Baio down there.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, what about Willie Ames from Charles in Charge too?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think anyone who's on a sitcom is 99% going to be there, except for who's the one guy?
Who's that?
He had a show about dating his daughters. John Richter.
Oh, John. You mean John Ritter, right?
John Ritter. John Ritter's not in hell. No way. No way. John Ritter's not in hell. Sorry, go on.
But now you got me on, like, we're talking about Scott Baio and Charles in Charge. So Charles in Charge. I used to have a reoccurring dream that I was like an extra on the set. No lie.
No way.
And no one would tell me which family, because remember there's two families. So there was the original family, and then there was like a break. The show went to syndication, got popular again, and then picked up with another family. So no one would tell me anytime I go on the set which family it was, so I didn't know how to act. And that was a reoccurring dream I had.
Did you get to snack a lot at craft services in this dream?
Yeah, of course.
Awesome. Wonder what he had.
I know, right?
Lots of donuts.
So listen, this song it's super aggressive, and I could see where the EDM crowd really took a fancy for this number as an influence. So it has a lot of cool components to it.
Track 10, Start of the Breakdown.
I've
mentioned kind of like how cool Roland's lyrics are, more or less. I've just been saying that they're cool and without really coming out and say it, but they're pretty cool. And I think it's a great place to show them off as we're at the last track of the song. So or last track of the album. Jeepers, peepers, my brain. Here's the first verse from Start of the Breakdown, Frank.
Do it.
Scratch the ice. Let the telephone ring. Sense of time is a powerful thing. And we love to laugh, love to cry, half alive. We love to go slow when we're dancing for rain. Dry skin flakes where there's ice in the vein. And we love to cry, half alive. Frank, wow. What says you?
Well,
I'm sorry. I just think those are really cool lyrics.
I love it.
Like,
no, the lyrics
I couldn't help it do them kind of cheesy because it was fun. So
very impressive here. And what's most important is that you could feel the same things Roland feels as if he's singing them. And if you go even deeper, it's like you actually feel the experiences as it's occurring. So definitely cut you like a knife, my friend.
And well, folks, that's 1983's debut release from Tears for Fears, The Hurting.
The Hurting.
Frank, would you be so kind as to give the folks on the other end of the podcast your final thoughts on the album?
Sure. I could totally see how this album was highly influential and highly emotional. It's somber in every way that one could use that term and apply it. Knowing the foundation for this band's content, along with the vulnerable family histories, I mean, how could one not be affected by these songs, right? It shows great moments of songwriting and it stacks up against the contemporaries. And I'm sure you'll find that this has the most weight to it, I think, from the contemporaries. Although I'm told that we need to also dig into like bands like Depeche Mode more.
Not going to happen.
Yeah, there you go. Now, I may not overly be a fan of some of the instrumentation, as again, remember what I said earlier, I'm this traditional 2 guitars, bass, drums type of person. However, I'm glad we both set time aside to listen to this record, and I give it a 7 out of 10.
Very nice.
What about you?
You know, one question kept popping up in my head as I was listening to the album, Frank. Is this an album I should know? It's not like I can defuse a bomb now or anything, but as I've been slowly dipping my ears into kind of like 80s synth pop kind of wildness, I have to say, absolutely, you should know this album.
Yes.
Well, goth was already well underway. Tears for Fear came with an album that straddled the line between full Victorian goth babe, chain smoking clove cigarettes, and an underground or underrated pop gem. This thing's fantastic. I love this album. In a good set of headphones and a very dimly lit room. I'm giving this an 8 out of 10. I would totally pick up this record if I find it. Check out this record, dude.
You said defuse a bomb earlier, so I thought of putting together Tears for Fears, The Bomb.
Oh, that might be a fun. I don't know if you could combine a Tears for Fear the Bomb game. But I'd love to see you come up with it.
Well, speaking of game, Mark, what type of top 10 game do you have in store for me this week?
Well, Frank, I'm glad you asked, because we have the latest and greatest game show on Check Out This Record. It's every Elvis has his army.
Oh no, okay.
That's right. As I mentioned earlier, Kurt and Roland's first taste of fame was with a song called Elvis Should Play Ska, in reference to Mr. Costello. But of course, both Elvis I have had a massive impact on music, as well as we all know. And neither one is short of praise. Frank, I'll read you a quote and you will tell me which Elvis they're talking about.
Okay. And I'm
just giving you the quote. You don't get to know who said it or when.
Oh, or when.
Okay. Or when. This one's tough.
Okay.
I made it too easy last time. I'm working on this one. You ready?
Okay.
His songs have no musical boundaries. You got to get a scorecard.
I know.
Okay. His songs have no musical boundaries.
I'm going to say that's Costello.
Correct.
Yeah.
Quote number 2. His kind of music is deplorable. A rancid smelling aphrodisiac. It fosters almost total. Oh, by the way, the first one was Elton John, by the way. Elton John said that Elvis Costello, his songs have no musical boundaries.
Okay. I was like, oh wait, we're playing the Elvis game. I didn't know.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I did that backwards. I just forgot to say. Anyways, question 2. His kind of music is deplorable, a rancid smelling, I have no idea what that word is.
Yeah.
It fosters almost total negative and destructive reaction in young people.
I mean, I have to think this was the early rock and roll Elvis, where they were just saying, everything is like bad, and the shaking of the hips is bad, and this is all this bad negative connotation type music. So I'm going with Elvis Presley.
You're going with Elvis Presley?
Yes, sir.
You should, because Frank Sinatra said that in 1950.
Oh, because he hated rock and roll.
There's actually, I found a couple quotes like from the 70s where Frank Sinatra apparently became like best buds with Elvis for a while there, and then praised the crap out of him. So it's kind of funny because you'll see Frank Sinatra on both sides of those lists.
Oh, totally. And there's that clip of Elvis on the Sinatra show too, and I think he had no choice but to embrace him at the end of the day.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. All right. Number three. It was the finest music of his life. If ever there was music that bled, this was it.
Elvis Presley.
Correct.
Woo!
Dang. That was Greil Marcus from his book Mystery Train.
Remembering
the 1968 TV special.
Okay. The comeback special.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Quote number 4. You ready?
I am born ready.
I didn't know we had so much in common growing up.
Costello.
Yes. Can you tell me who said it?
Was that Paul McCartney?
No, it was Questlove.
Oh.
Questlove said that. Okay. You're smoking otherwise, though, dude.
Yeah.
Number 5.
5. Mm-hmm.
There are several unbelievable things about Elvis, but the most incredible is his staying power in a world where meteoric careers fade like shooting stars.
Has to be Costello.
No, it's Presley. That's correct. That was an article in Newsweek, August 11th, 1969, reviewing Elvis's Las Vegas entertainment career.
Oh, man.
All right, track number 6.
Okay.
Thinking back to the time, I didn't just want to make an Elvis album.
That's Costello.
That is Costello.
Yeah. Okay. I remember.
Do you recognize the quote?
That was from his book, right?
That was Paul McCartney.
That was Paul McCartney. Got it. Okay.
All right. Number 7.
7.
You have no idea how great he is. Really, you don't. You have no comprehension. It's absolutely impossible. I can't tell you why he's so great, but he is. He's sensational.
Presley.
Yes. That was a guess, wasn't it?
Yes. Who said that?
Phil Spector.
Oh boy. Okay.
Okay.
He's in trouble.
This next one, I think. Well, I mean, I didn't say these were good people.
Yeah.
Number 8. It was like he came along and whispered some dream in everyone's ear, and somehow we all dreamed it.
I'm gonna say that's Presley again.
Oh, you are correct again.
Woo-wee.
Any idea who said that?
Negative.
Springsteen.
Oh, wow.
Old Brucey. I think it was that night they got him with the DUI. He was a little drunk. No, I'm just kidding. All charges have been dropped. Bruce is not being charged with the DUI.
What DUI?
Exactly. Frank, we're at question number 9. You've only missed one so far.
Wow.
Here we go. Number 9. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
His first 3 albums are all on Rolling Stone's list of the 500 greatest albums of all time.
That's Costello.
Is it?
It's not.
It is. It is Costello.
I was like, I know that they are. I know that. I know those lists are shit now, but yes.
That was actually it's a quote at the Songwriters Hall of Fame.
Oh.
From Mr. Costello,
which I've been to.
Yes. All right. Number 10, Frank, if you get this, I mean, 90% is still an A.
Right.
Or at least based on when we went to school.
Mm-hmm.
When I first heard Elvis's voice, I just knew that I wasn't going to, that I wasn't going to work for anybody. It wasn't going to work for anybody. And nobody was going to be my boss. Hearing him for the first time was like busting out of jail. You want me to read that again? Because I kind of screwed it up.
If you don't mind.
When I first heard Elvis's voice, I just knew that I wasn't going to work for anybody and nobody was going to be my boss. Hearing him for the first time was like busting out of jail.
Presley.
Yep. Who said it?
Who said that though? Joe Piscopo. I don't know.
Oh, it was Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan. Damn.
Bob Dylan. Yeah, Bob Dylan.
All right, I got 90.
Yeah, you got 9 out of 10, man. Pretty good.
Hey,
I should have paid more attention with the keeping track of if you got all the who said it rights. But you did good.
Thank you, sir.
That game was hard to play, man.
That
hard to write. It took a while.
Yeah.
Woo.
Woo.
Yeah.
Nice. I love it. I love it. Fun game, my friend.
Thank you. You're up.
I am. So you ready for your options for next week, my friend?
I am. Do I need a piece of paper? I got a piece of paper.
Okay,
I'm ready.
Yeah, absolutely. So
I don't know.
I have here 5 choices, which I will read to you. I won't read the names. Just a little blurb about the person or the band and the album. And based on one of those, then you select one, and that's the one you'll be getting, my friend.
No, out of 5?
There's 5 of them. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Five choices.
Okay.
All right. So the first one is the 4th studio album by an English singer-songwriter, which was voted Album of the Year in 1979 by The Village Voice. Okay. Now you don't have to tell me who they are. You could just you just think of what I'm telling you and then pick the one that you want to review. Okay.
Okay.
The next is a lighthearted and upbeat yet sometimes serious-natured debut by a band known more for a massive late 90s hit and a theme on a popular TV show.
It's not the band from Pete and Pete. Okay, what else you got?
Ed and Spaghetti.
Yeah.
All right. The next is a 3rd studio album by what people call a national treasure. This country folk record spills blood and sheds lots of tears and exposes your soul. That's another choice for you.
Oh my. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Option 4 is this band's 3rd album, released in 1992, is often heralded as an overlooked classic of the 90s in the alternative rock world. Okay. And now, last but not least, the 5th option is this Canadian noise rock hardcore band released their debut album in 2012 on Sub Pop Records, and it captures the band's ferociousness and ability to put their influences together in a noise rock type of manner. So you got 5 choices here, pal. What are you gonna do?
All right. So I got one was a 4th studio album from an English band, 1979 album of the year, according to the Village Voice.
Yes, sir.
2 is a lighthearted debut album by a band that also had a song that was a theme song.
Right.
3 is some crazy fucking country song album.
Yeah, there you go.
4 is 3rd album, alt 90s overlooked.
Yeah.
Oof. And 5 is Canadian noise. So 5 is Bare Naked Ladies. We've been doing a lot of English stuff lately, so I'm not going to go with 1.
Okay.
I think that number 2 probably isn't the Violent Femmes, but it might be that terrible band that did the Friends song, and I don't want to listen to that. I'm kind of interested in 3 and 4. 3 and 4. I'm not seeing any. Oh, I saw a little bit of a wince when I said 4. You know what, dude? Give me number 3. Give me number 3.
Oh, okay. We're gonna get really serious on this next episode, my friends.
Fuck. Okay, let's do it.
So the album you have chosen is the self-titled. It's a 3rd album by Townes Van Zandt.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the album?
No, I'm familiar with the name, and I'm
Yes.
familiar. This has been one that like we've started doing this show, and
Yeah.
everyone's been like, "This is gonna come up, and you're gonna love it," and I'm
Yep.
stoked. I'm
Yeah.
so stoked. Yes.
Yeah. So I own the vinyl of this record. It's 1969's self-titled Townes Van Zandt. It's a good one. And I'm really interested in you kind of hearing it, listen to it in a couple different capacities.
Yeah.
The guy was a hurting soul, and you could hear it bleed on this album. So I'm really stoked to
cool
to get your.
Will you read the description for me again? Give me the.
Yeah.
Tell it to me.
So I said this third studio album, by what people call a national treasure, and by what people would call a national treasure, and this country folk record spills blood and sheds lots of tears and exposes your soul.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. This is gonna be cool. This is gonna be cool.
All right, cool. Now you don't know what the other four are because I'll save that for another time.
Yeah.
Cool, man. I'm stoked.
Yeah.
I'm stoked.
Sweet.
Well, thanks everyone for listening. Remember to like, subscribe, rate, review, and most importantly, be safe out there.
Thanks so much for making it all the way to the end of the podcast, my friend. Help us out and just smash that old like and subscribe button, wouldn't you? Now, won't you say it with me? Oh, my. Oh, hell yes. Oh, bye-bye. Recording has ended.